You join me today in the out-of-spec Tesla Cybertruck. This thing is just over a month old now, and if you can believe it, has over 7,000 miles on the odometer. This thing has truly been put to the test, literally and figuratively. Kyle has taken this after delivery on an EV truck race from coast to coast, from Jacksonville, Florida to San Diego. It's been road tripped back up here to Colorado. It's been through snow. It's been off-roaded. It's been on the rustic ring. It's had dogs in it. It's been eaten in. It's had countless people in and out of this exploring the Tesla Cybertruck for the first time. But it is really time to get the interior completely dialed in. So welcome back to another out-of-spec detailing video here from Clear Detailing in Northern Colorado. Let's jump into it. Now this is going to be a fun one. This is my first experience ever cleaning a Tesla Cybertruck, and in all honesty, it's not much different from Model S and Model X. The interior is largely the same. When Kyle and I were down in Austin, Texas for the delivery event, or for the first unveil of the Cybertruck here, we actually spoke to one of the interior engineers and designers, and he said that the material inside the Cybertruck, the vegan leather in here, is largely similar to the Model S and Model X. Now, of course, aesthetic-wise, it is very different, very angular instead of rounded like the Model S and X, but man, oh man, it is surely a nice place to be. We have lots of different materials in here, of course, like vegan leather. We have some painted areas, some plastic. We have micro suede up here. It's a very unique interior, very minimalist, but definitely needs a deep clean. Like I said, this thing has been put through the paces, and I just cannot believe Kyle already has 7,000 miles on this in just over a month's time. But the interior has literally not been touched. There's dog hair, there's crumbs, there's dirt, there's grime. It just needs a deep interior clean. So this is not only going to be a satisfying interior detail, but it's going to be a little bit of a step-by-step process in how to clean the interior of your Tesla Cybertruck. Not only the tools and the products you use that are important when detailing an interior, but the process. The process really makes a huge difference. You want to start in the correct area, finish in the correct area. So we'll be going through all of that. But before I ramble too much longer, let me take you around the truck and show you the current state, current condition of the truck, and some areas that we're going to have to tackle a little bit more aggressively and run you through the entire process, products, and tools. Well, the great thing about the out-of-spec Cybertruck is it's been used like a truck. And let's look at what that use actually looks like. First off, as you can see, the floor mats. This being only a month old, these things need some serious deep cleaning in them. We've got dirt, dust, grime, everything on them. Over here on the door panels, we've got some little dog slobbers up here. We just got general dust. You can see how the door panel, especially in the speaker grill, gets kind of kicked every time you get in and out of it. Down here, this massive storage area has held a bunch of stuff. You can see some staining down here from some sticky sugary drinks or maybe even coffee. But the nice thing with the Cybertruck is we have multiple different materials on here. Of course, vegan leather, we've got plastic, some more plastic here, speaker grills, we've got a rough textured plastic, we've got these rubber cup holder inserts in here. But the nice thing is we have very minimal amounts of carpet. So in the front here, if you do the Cybertruck all-weather mats from Tesla, you just have this little area here. Of course, we're gonna need to get that cleaned out. It's amazing how much dirt and little rocks and pebbles get accumulated in here. And I'm very curious to see this particular panel, how this wears over time. In my build quality analysis of the Tesla Cybertruck, I said this was a bad idea because this is vegan leather down here, basically a synthetic vinyl material. And my impression was if you're using this as a truck, this is going to get really scuffed up and just start to rip and tear. So I'm curious to see once I get this actually cleaned off what it really looks like. You can see in here in the cup holder area, we just have general nastiness. We've got coffee stains. There's even some Jolly Ranchers left over here. Some dog hair here in the micro suede. And then you start looking to the back. Now the dogs have been back here, of course, Walter, Ellie, and Blue. My dogs have even been in here. I have 3 golden retrievers now, and they definitely slobber all over everything. Now, the other nice thing here is we have perforated seats. Now, I personally hate perforated seats as a detailer because you get all of this where you just get crumbs stuck everywhere in the perforations. It's a pain in the butt to get cleaned out. We'll definitely need to get here inside of these bolsters, make sure we're getting all the little crumbs and nastiness. Actually, most people don't know this, but these little crumbs over time, if left in those areas, can actually start to wear down the stitching in there, and they can actually start to rip open the seat. Let's jump back here and see how the back end is looking. And first off, you'll definitely notice the dog slobber. This is likely mostly from Walter. He's a very slobbery, but one of my favorite dogs in the planet. He is a Newfoundland, and yeah, he likes to slobber all over everything. So we've got a nice dog Picasso up here on the window. You can see it all over the backs of the seats here and on the side of the seats. Let's pop this seat up and see how we're looking here. So lots of dog hair in here. This is interesting how the hair sticks to the back of these seats that are a little bit plasticky, if you will. But this mat is massive. This reminds me of the F-150 rear liner. They're a pain in the butt to get in and out. So like I said, process is very important. We're going to want to go in here, vacuum up all the big stuff, pull the mats out, clean under the mats, get everything vacuumed. Then we'll do a blowout. We'll talk about that a little bit more later. But this thing just needs some overall love. And of course, back here, you can really see in the perforations, we just have little crumbs absolutely everywhere. So we're going to get this thing dialed in, from the seats to the carpets to the floor mats to the screens, everything. And one thing I want to talk about is windows. Now, the front windows in the Cybertruck here were actually tinted by the Man Cave down in Denver, Colorado here. They graciously said, hey, we'd like to tint your Cybertruck if you want to bring it to us. So they did the side windows, these triangular windows here, and the entire windshield. Now, I've had a lot of people ask me, how the heck are you going to clean that windshield? Well, we're going to find out today. And I'm excited for this project. This is my first time cleaning the interior of the Tesla Cybertruck, and this one truly needs some love. So let's jump over here to the driver's side very, very quickly as we move past the very, very dirty stainless steel and just take a quick gander at how this is looking. Honestly, the driver's side, not too terribly bad until you get down here. And again, this being all vegan leather, I'm very, very anxious to see how that actually cleans up, if there's a bunch of scuff marks in it, or how it actually looks. And I'm also curious to see this stainless steel piece here, at least I believe it to be stainless steel, how that'll clean up. Hopefully I can get these little rubber seals a little bit better clipped in, because those don't look quite well. But just look at the grime and the seats here. Holy smokes, Kyle. Yes, Kyle uses his rigs. So let's get the Cybertruck cleaned up. First off, we're going to start vacuuming, a deep vacuum, getting all the big stuff, all the pebbles out. We'll then pull the mats. We'll come in here with compressed air and a tornado type tool. I'll show you all of that, show you how effective it is at releasing things from the interior, blowing away the dust, dirt, and grime. And then we'll actually get into cleaning the seats, and then finally doing the glass, doing the mats, doing the screens, all the little intricate areas. Well, let's give you a quick update here. So got the mats out, got everything vacuumed back here. Now, you saw there was a ton of dog hair in this area. This is my preferred method. So this is called the lily brush. And no, I didn't get absolutely everything. You'll still see a few here. The next process will help with that. All you do basically is you're just scraping this side. So this rubber creates some static and kind of pulls it together. Super, super simple process. Vacuum it up right after, but really got all the dirt and grime out of there. Now, so much sand was up here, especially in the front. And just for you guys to know, I typically like to start in the back first. So I move the seats all the way forward, vacuum underneath the seats, and then push everything all the way back and then do the front. But this is looking tremendously better. Now, another tool I use during this process is a soft bristle brush like this. Now what this can do is areas around the door panel that has like a light layer of dust, you can just gently go over this and kind of suck all that up. I didn't film too much of that. You may have seen it over here on the other seat. It also helps get a few of those crumbs out of the perforations as those brushes kind of agitate it, and then it sucks it back up. I also spent a good amount of time in here getting the cracks and crevices out, and is looking way, way better. So those are the two products I love using on interior vacuuming, the lily brush and then one of these. Now, I know I'm gonna have a quick question on what I use for vacuums. So I use the Vacuum-Aid Garage Vac Pro here. I just purchased this, absolute animal, very quiet, unbelievable suction. If you guys were watching that previous time lapse, you'll notice I didn't have to go crazy on this. I just vacuumed everything up very quickly. The suction on that is truly exceptional. Now, the next process is the blowout. Now, this is not a required process, but I will tell you this helps tremendously. So this is used with an air compressor. I did a dedicated video on this a little while ago. I'll show you a few things here and there. This thing is truly game changing. It helps out so insanely much. So let me explain. So this hooks up to an air compressor here, and this nozzle here actually spins. So it creates this like tornado effect. And what this is really good at, especially on carpets, is getting the dirt out. A lot of the time when we go in and deep clean shampoo carpets, we're just vacuuming it up, but there's a hidden layer of dirt and sand, all that dust down there. You spray your solution, what do you make? You essentially make mud. Extractors can't pull everything out of there. So what this does, while it's dry, you go in there, blast it. It's unbelievable the amount of dust that comes out of there. Now you may be thinking to yourself, well, I just spent all this time vacuuming. Don't. Spend about 10 to 15 minutes, get the big stuff. Now with the Garage Vac Pro, I'm able to get like 99% of it. And then lastly, after we're done cleaning the interior windows, screens, yada, 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 hit my last vacuum on it and we're good to go. But this is gonna kick up a lot of dust, so just keep that in mind. But what it also does, not just in the carpets, is areas like this. You can see all this little dust in there. You use this thing, compressed air, blast all of that out. No longer are the days trying to fold a towel in here and get every little nook and cranny out. This car doesn't have a ton because it doesn't have a lot of buttons. But even areas like around here in this little crease, it helps around here as well. So I'll also be taking a little gun nozzle one that's just an air stream, and basically all these seams blow all of those out. Now this is really a little OCD. It's the professional detailing way, but it really makes a massive difference. Gosh, these doors are crazy heavy here. So even areas like these vents here, hitting that with that Rag Company blaster there, it just lets everything loose. It's truly awesome. Now, I did take out the little rubber cup holder mats in the side doors. We'll clean those up with the mats, but this is looking pretty great. So we're gonna blow out the entire car now. I'm not sure how much I'm gonna film. I may film a little bit. It doesn't really look all that much. I may just show you a quick sample of what it does and then do that. And then next, what I'm gonna do is take my cleaning solution and go through and just do a one wipe down. Now, I like to think of this as essentially your pre-foam rinse when you're washing your car. So you're gonna foam it down, let it kind of eat away at the stuff, pick it up, and then you're gonna come back in, agitate, and do your contact wash. Again, this is alluding to an example of washing your car, but it'll help a lot, especially with areas like the dog slobber back here, and really just help pick up that initial layer of dirt, getting the top layer off. Then we can go in and really agitate and scrub everything. But this is already looking amazingly better. So we're gonna be cleaning everything, door jambs or door panels, all of the kick plates down here, even the pedals. I'll give you some tips and tricks on that once we get to it. But man, oh man, this thing's looking great. So let's get out the air blaster and keep moving. Moving right along now, and we are finally at the stage where we're gonna start cleaning all the leather, all the plastics, all the rubber inside of the Cybertruck. Now this, for years, has been my absolute favorite cleaner for interiors. This is made by P&S. This is Express Interior Cleaner. Lots of things I love about this product. One of them being highly dilutable. Now what does that gain you? So you can use this at full strength to where it's very, very strong, but it's also extremely safe. Now here what I have in the bottle is mixed 50-50. So 1 part water, 1 part P&S Express Interior Cleaner. You can even go farther down if your interior is not that filthy. I personally find that 50-50 mark to be really, really good. We may have to bump up a little bit, get a little bit more aggressive, especially with the dog slobber. But for normal dirt, normal grease that you may have on like a steering wheel from hand oils or eating food, whatever it may be, 50-50 is gonna be a good shot for you. So like I initially alluded to, we're gonna be doing a wipe down first and then go in with our brushes, start agitating and really get into that deep clean. But I wanna knock this top layer down. So what I have over here in the truck is a few towels. Now, I purchase very cheap towels to do interior. My personal opinion, spending $5-6 a towel for interior cleaning is absolutely ridiculous. What I do, I go to Costco, buy the big 36 pack of cheap microfiber towels. They're actually really, really nice. I think it's like 15 or 16 bucks for 36 of them. Now I single use them on interiors, especially when I have customers' cars in here. It gets a little gross, especially with something like this. And then maybe my next car is a 911 or a brand new car. I don't want to be taking these, having to try and wash them, especially picking up all the dirt and grime in these, and then getting it into the next car or contaminating towels and the washer and all that. So I single use these. Once they're done, they're done. They go in the garbage, pick up a new one. For me, it's very economical. I can understand, yes, it is wasteful. It's not very environmentally friendly, but hey, we're here to clean. So what I like to do, get a little bit on here. You don't need to go crazy with it. Now, you can spray it on here. I would avoid saturating anything, but just come in here and we're gonna initially wipe this down. And as I work this in, I'm already seeing that dog slobber start to go, but as hopefully you guys can see, as I wipe, it still remains there. Now, typically, when I kind of flip this over and dry it, it somewhat goes away, but as I can see, the slobber on here is truly nasty. Now, this is where process makes a big difference. Of course, you don't want to start on your glass here and spray this and now get it all over your windows. That makes zero sense. So just come in here and we're going to do the door jambs, we're going to hit the seats, all of the big areas. Now, another tip for you here, start in the least dirty areas. Don't start on, you know, that inner door jamb there where it's completely filthy, full of rocks and all that nastiness. Do that last. Don't worry about it. So I'm just going to come in here and spray it. I know I have a lot of questions about spraying buttons and areas like that. If you oversaturate them, it can be a problem. What I also see a lot of detailers do is come in here after the fact with compressed air and basically blow it out of buttons. What do you think that actually does to it? It blows that liquid even farther in there. So I'm not a big fan of that. Now, I've used this product before and had some questions on it. Now, technically the directions in the back of this say to go back with a damp, wet towel and wipe away the residue from this. I personally have never done that and I've never had issues. To me, the water, all you're gonna get is streaking and splotchiness from that. I've tried it before. It doesn't look right. So I understand the intended use on here is to wipe it away afterwards, but I've never had an issue. I would advise you to skip that step. Now, you can just come in here. We're just doing a quick initial wipe. We're not trying to get everything, but I want it to get all of that crud away. Now, one area you absolutely want to avoid saturating is speaker grills. You don't want to come in here and just blast this thing down, even if it has dust or dirt on it. I'll show you in the front ones how you do that. But we're just gonna wipe all of this down. It's just gonna pick up all that dirt. And I can see already this towel is turning a little gray, a little black. Honestly, not too bad, but we're looking pretty good so far. So what you can also do is have a wet towel. So you can use one towel throughout the entire truck here, and then have a dry towel and come in and wipe it like this and just dry everything down, kind of pick up that a little bit more. My personal preference is you always fold these into quarters. Can't tell you how many times I see people come in with a towel like this and they're just doing this situation. All that does is you only get essentially two sides on your towel and it's going to soak through anyways. Whereas if you fold it in quarters, now you essentially have 8 workable sides on a single towel. Yes, it's smaller, but you can keep the dirt contaminated in one area. Once it's too filthy, flip it over, go to town. So I'm going to continue doing this throughout the truck, get her all kind of cleaned up, and then we'll come back in, spray this down, and start our agitation. So all of 10 to 15 minutes, that's all you need to do a quick wipe down here. And you can see how much better the Cybertruck is looking. It is so impressive to me how easy vegan leather cleans up. It is just 10 times better than traditional leather. Let's jump up front here and see how we're looking. So speaker grills, I tried to get it in the shop, but it didn't quite work. Basically what I like to do is take one of those wet sides of the towels, spray a little bit more solution in there, in this case P&S Express Cleaner, and flip it over to the fluffy side of the towel, and you just go in there and scrub very gently here on the speaker grill, and it takes all of that little dust and grime away. But this is looking so much better. Now personally, I would say this is 80%. I think most people would probably be like, dude, it looks fine. Like I'm not worried about it. And they would probably leave it as is. What I like to do next though is go in and agitate. That's going to lift every little bit of dirt and grime on there. One thing I didn't mention about that P&S Express Interior Cleaner is it is an enzymatic cleaner. So it not only cleans away oils and dirt and grime and things like that, but it really lifts it out of the pores of the material. It's just so awesome. It's even great, like I said, on little plastics like this. And you'll notice all I did was dry wipe that. And a lot of the areas on here, as you may have seen in the time lapse, I just let dry, and it was drying very, very rapidly. Now, one question I know I'm going to have from you guys is perforated seats. And there is a good fear, and I think this is a good question to ask about spraying those seats directly. In my 10 years of experience, never had an issue with perforated seats getting oversaturated. What I do see is when guys break out the steam cleaner and go in there, then you can cause some serious issues to perforated seats. Let me jump around this side. I want to talk about a few little areas on this. So like I said, I'd say it's about 80% clean. It definitely looks better. But in this area, maybe it'll pick up on camera, you can still see some of that dog slobber. Now, in this particular case with Kyle and Alyssa's vehicles and Walter, I know what his slobber does to leather like this. So Typically what I'll have to do is go in with a very strong leather cleaner in areas that are pretty heavily bad, and that would be this up here. That is Geon Leather Cleaner Strong. So they make a mild version and a strong version. Strong version is basically undiluted. Mild is just a diluted variant of that. It's even more aggressive than Express Interior Cleaner at full strength, and it really helps lift off all of that crud. So you can even see here back on the center armrest, the dogs like to lay their heads down here quite a bit, and their drool just kind of sits there and pools up. I know this is not a situation for everybody, but this may be a situation where you have a lot of grease. Maybe you eat quite a bit in your car, and your steering wheel, you can't get that shininess off of it. I would definitely try Geon Leather Cleaner Strong, but I'm very impressed with literally just a wipe down. I mean, I'm not getting into really in-depth details here. It looks 10 times better. So next on the docket here, I'm gonna go back through. What I'm gonna first start off with is take Geon Leather Cleaner Strong in these areas. I want you to also notice how the white, it doesn't stain even sort of as much as this. So that's why you hear me say, for folks who have dogs, I have 3 golden retrievers, I have 2 Model 3s, both white interior. My wife has a ID4 with a black interior. The white ones are so much easier to clean up. So my personal preference, if you're gonna get a Tesla, if you can, Cybertruck, you can't option white seats yet, maybe hopefully soon. I think you should just go white. It's very, very easy to clean up. This is a lot of the issues, not only with dogs, but with very greasy hands or children or things like that, where you're eating in your car, you're using it as a vehicle instead of, you know, sitting in a museum type of deal. It can very much help. So I'll do Geon Leather Cleaner Strong in these more aggressive areas. I will go in and agitate it, wipe it down, and then I'll come back around with the Express Interior Cleaner. My thought process behind that is you kind of want to neutralize that really aggressive cleaner with something less aggressive. So that's why I do it first. And then it definitely kind of sprays everywhere. And when Geon Leather Cleaner Strong dries, it leaves these kind of shiny spots. So you want to make sure you get all of that, which again is why I go back with Express Interior Cleaner. But we are crossing, you know, around here. We're more than halfway done with the interior, and this thing is looking awesome. Again, with that blowout, you'll see you get a little bit of crumbs here and there. One tip that I should mention with that, leave all the doors open and try and blow it out. So if you're working on this side, blow it out. I know this is a little bit later in the video, but just as I'm filming this process and thinking through this, I wanted to make a note of that. But we're rocking and rolling here. Let's get cleaning on the slobber areas. we are rocking and rolling now. So the entire interior went through, agitated everything again with the PNS Express interior cleaner. It looks phenomenal. I'll share the results with you at the end. We've also gone in and cleaned all of the screens. Now the screens, I just used my simple and one of my favorite glass cleaners, Koch Chemie glass cleaner, and I use that again with one of those cheapo Costco microfibers. They are amazing because they are lint free. If you keep them clean, the brand new out of the package, spray a little on there or spray it on the screen, wipe it down, again folding it into quarters, flip to the dry side, boom, good to go. It's literally as simple as that. Now you can also use Adam's waterless wash, which we're going to talk here about in a second on the glass. And then what also we did was clean up the floor mats. Now the floor mats, I just used a simple green solution on there. I also used some Adam's rubber and tire cleaner to get in there a little bit more, break down that dirt, get all of that brown nastiness out of there, scrubbed it with a brush, rinse it off, and they're out now drying. But really, one of the things we want to talk about here is glass. Now this truck has a little bit different glass all the way around it. So the rear glass, basically everything back is not tinted. So both the side pieces, the sunroof, the back glass that looks into the bed of the truck. Now in the front here, we had these tinted. So this glass is tinted, the passenger side, of course, the two triangles, and the entire front windshield. Now you guys saw me quickly before grab Koch Chemie glass cleaner over here and a fresh microfiber towel from Costco. The reason behind that is I want to get all the big stuff off first. I want to get all the nasty smudges, all the dog Picassos off here, get the off-gassing layer. Now, if you have a ton of off-gassing, or if you don't know what that is, definitely go check out my video on how to remove off-gassing, doing a brilliant glaze treatment on it, and then I walk you through the entire steps to remove all of that haze off windows. Brand new cars are notorious for it. It kind of happens for about a year to a year and a half, depending on your climate with your vehicle, but it's a pain in the butt. It's annoying to deal with, but sometimes you can get away with just hitting it with the glass cleaner here and a cleaner, good to go. So we went around, wiped down everything. I didn't worry about getting it perfectly streak free and anything like that. Now I'm sure you're asking yourself, okay, what do we use for glass towels? Now, glass towels, I'm gonna use this as my initial one. This will be in the link in the description below. Same with everything that we used here today. All the brushes, all the chemicals, all the products, they'll all be in the link in the description below, so you can pick them up to either clean your interior or clean the interior of your Cybertruck, either way. But these are glass towels. Now, these are a very short nap, and also you have two different sides of them. I like the tighter weave on there. Everybody's got their preference on glass towels. Very, very important to pick one that you like and stick with it. Don't go crazy on it. Now, there's a lot of things around glass cleaning. First off, no Windex. We don't want to be using Windex. I know one of my solutions for the exterior of the Cybertruck is to use ammoniated Windex. Now, the issue with using ammonia, especially on a vehicle like this, is it can actually harm the tint that you put on here. So that's a big no-no. Find yourself a good glass cleaner that you like and stick with it. Now, my personal preference, again, Koch Chemie glass cleaner, but what I also use and also mix sometimes is this. Now, this is the wrong bottle. This says Adam's Matte Detailer on it. Inside there is Adam's waterless wash. It is unbelievable. The reason and rationale behind using waterless wash is it leaves it very slick. It's not adding anything, but it leaves a little bit of slickness. Now, I see guys come in here and clean glass with isopropyl alcohol to get rid of all that off-gassing haze. The problem is now your towel's dragging over it, and what happens with that? You have lint everywhere. There's nothing worse than that. Now, the last thing we need to talk about is streaking. People hate cleaning glass. Now, I, over the past 10 years of my professional detailing career, have had to learn to love how to clean glass and get crystal clear glass, of course. Can't have my customers rolling out of here with smudges everywhere, lint everywhere, and just streaks all over the place. So a lot of what we're going to talk about here is using the right amount of product on there, not oversaturating our rag, and then the process. So again, I went in there, I got all the big stuff. You don't want to come in here with fresh new microfibers, start wiping this down, and you're just pushing crap around everywhere. That's where you start to get a lot of streaks. So I'm actually not going to use the Koch-Chemie glass cleaner here. What we are going to be using though is our waterless wash. Now, this is a very simple process. On the Cybertruck here, I do want to show you something. So when you close this, got to kind of slam these, the window rolls up. So on the inside, you're going to have this section here that you can't reach when the window rolls down. So what you'll have to do, jump in the car, clean that lower section. Makes a big difference. So what I'm going to do here is grab my glass towel, again with the short nap on here, and I'm going to mist a little on here. That's completely enough. Then I'm also going to come here, do a quick spritz, and I'm going to start working it in. And as you can see, it's completely streak free already. Now, as you're going through the car, this towel is getting more saturated. That's going to become more of an issue. But what I love here, very slick. No issues of like it grabbing and leaving a bunch of stuff behind. It's a mess. Now, lastly, I take a dry Costco microfiber here and just buff everything out. This will pick up any sort of little residue in there. And that's it. Was that hard? Absolutely not. It's annoying to have to go around twice for sure, and I totally agree with you. Glass takes a while, but if you stay with this process, it's very simple. And then when your car needs a little refresh, hit it again with waterless wash. I just find a lot of the times that glass cleaners actually start to remove all of that kind of sleek or slickness to this, and it makes it really challenging and really annoying to clean glass. So again, not going to add any on here. One mist, go in. I like to do the borders first, fill in the middle, flip to my dry side, pick up all of that extra moisture there, boom, grab our other towel, and that is a completely streak-free window. Now you may be looking through this saying, well, the outside's very nasty. Yes, it is. The whole truck needs a wash. We're of course not going to be doing that in today's video. But what I'll also do, once I get most of the glass, is then I'll jump inside. So I'll jump in the back seat, close the door, get this lower area, and I will do the same for the front. But honestly, glass is not that challenging to do once you get it sort of mastered. Don't use a ton of product. All you saw me do between these two windows was use 4 basically full pump sprays. I'm going to use 1 on the side glass, 1 on the other side glass, 1 on the roof, maybe 2 on the roof. I'll split it into 2, 1 on the back window, and probably 2 to 3 on the front glass. And we're all good there. So I'm going to continue cleaning the rest of the glass here, and I'll update you once we're done. Okay, so now's the big main event, and that is this big piece of glass here. So this is my first time ever cleaning a Cybertruck windshield. As you can see, I have moved the seat all the way forward, and I am still missing about a foot down there. So cleaning this, definitely a pain in the butt. First off, what I'm going to probably have you do is move these out of the way. Now with the seat all the way forward, this actually doesn't go. But what I want to do here is clean the glass I can reach first. So I'm going to probably work till about here and get half of this windshield, and then we're going to grab one of these. Now I've had this for years for back windows. Sometimes you have to, with a sedan like a Model 3, you have to fold both the seats down, lay on your back. Sometimes this is useful, especially getting in corners and things like that, but should be very straightforward. Now, we've again already cleaned the entire interior here, but what I'm going to do is mist this down. So I'm going to give that 2 sprays. It will go over your steering wheel. That'll come back later on. So I'm just going to start wiping here. And again, the tint is actually helping me quite a bit. You can see how quickly this evaporates. And I do apologize for this angle. It is very awkward to film cleaning this windshield. I was gonna shoot it through here, but it kind of doesn't work with the tint on here. So I'm gonna go just as far as I can possibly reach, and I can already feel making it way slicker. So I love that. I'm gonna add a little bit more here on my towel and try and get down here into this area. Great. So I'm gonna flip over now, dry it off. So, and as you can see, I feel like we cleaned maybe 2/3 of this side of the windshield. So what I'd probably recommend doing, I'm not going to do this right now, jump over to the other side, clean this side as far down as you can go. Again, I would leave the windshield last. Now, what we're going to do is take our microfiber and roll it around here. So I'm going to spray a little on here. Couple mists down there. Don't get it oversaturated. There's speaker grills and everything down there. And I'm going to start working this in. Even with this, I can barely reach that bottom. In fact, I literally can't. And the steering wheel is all the way in. I have reasonably long, not arms, but arm. Now again, the important thing is here, not oversaturate it, because we don't have that dry wipe right away. So we're going to let that evaporate. There we go. That's looking a little bit better. Now I'm going to take this off here. Now I don't even know if this particular wand is still available for purchase. I probably got this thing 9 years ago now. I don't use it all the time, but we're going to do quick wipes around here. That's going to help with a little bit of that streaking, picking up any moisture there. Try and get into the corners. I gotta tell you, that's not all that bad. Honestly, I think if you keep up on this, you're gonna be a whole heck of a lot better. Now, in normal cars, what I'll typically do on my Model 3, for example, I'll actually clean the driver's side from the passenger seat because I can reach down there better. Just makes my life a heck of a lot easier when cleaning this. Now, you may be seeing, again, water spots, bugs, everything on there where the wiper holds down there. The inside, to me, looks pretty gosh darn clean. And I can take my little scan grip here. I did see I missed a spot up here drying it. So that's the beauty of having this dry wipe here. So I can come in here and just hit that real quick. Let me double check that. You can take a flashlight if you're really particular like me, but looks like we did a pretty darn good job. Now the real telltale here, take the car outside. You want to be doing this in the shade. You don't want to be outside, just wash your car. You shouldn't be washing your car in the sunlight anyway, but after you do this, you can go outside, see if you have any streaks in there. You may hit some spots. Another quick tip and trick for you. So you saw that I mostly tried to clean this up and down. What you can do on this in normal cars, Cybertruck's a little bit harder, is you can go up and down on the inside windows and then across on the outside windows. So if you do see a streak, you know, it's on the inside or it's on the outside. Just a little detailing nerdy trick there. I'm going to hit the other side of this windshield. Not going to film it. This is very awkward to film and just feels uncomfortable, but nonetheless, we are almost done. Now the last steps, once our mats are drying, I'm going to come through here and do a quick wipe down actually with Adam's waterless wash. Any sort of residue we have from that initial cleaning, any sort of residue we have from spraying the glass, quickly hit that, quickly clean it up. The nice thing is areas like this that may be a little matte or you have some chrome inside, whatever it may be, you can pick up anything on there. Even this foundation series down here, super easy and nice to clean with that. And then did I say we're going to vacuum? Right after that, we'll vacuum, put the mats in, and we are done. And just like that, we are finished. This thing turned out pretty darn fantastic. Back to a factory fresh sheen everywhere. All of the dirt, the grime, dog slobber, whatever, you name it, it's gone. I'm so thrilled with how this turned out. And I gotta say, yes, definitely a lot of work. When you let your interior get dirty, it takes a heck of a lot longer to scrub everything up. Of course, I'd like to clean all of these door jambs. That's for another video when we actually wash the outside of the Cybertruck and clean those up. But inside, this thing looks factory fresh. I just love how the seats come back out. You can see no remaining little dust and dirt in all of the perforations here. We got the Jolly Ranchers from Brandon out of there. The glass is dialed in, at least on the inside, but it looks so nice. Even the steering wheel, just nice and smooth and fresh. Now, a few tips and tricks I want to talk about here quickly before we finish this off. I see a lot of folks, and mostly Tesla owners, but a lot of them out there, typically leave their carpet mats underneath their all-weather floor mats. That's a big, big no-no. Those things can start to slip. There's a reason they go directly on top of the carpet. It also makes it thicker. You have a gap here. You can get dirt under there. And the last thing you want is to get one of your pedals stuck underneath a floor mat. So make sure you're taking your carpet mats out. Put the all-weather mats in when you're ready again, or if you're not ready again for the carpet ones, just leave these in there. It doesn't matter. One thing I want to note on this that's interesting for those of you viewers, Kyle received 2 of these, which seems pretty weird to me. Okay, a little strange there. Not sure what's going on. Let's check back here to see how we did. All the dog slobber gone off there, off the back of the seats. The screen is dialed in. The back seats look like nobody ever slept or napped or anything in here during the big EV road trip race. All the mats completely dialed in. And just for fun, let's run around to the other side here and see the end results. But I gotta say, pretty impressed with this material here that they're using on Cybertruck. Very, very resilient. And I have to give a little bit of an omission to what I said earlier about this getting so scratched up. I'm glad to say that I was wrong. Tesla was right. And this actually looks fantastic. But the seats completely dialed in. All the bolsters looking like nobody's even sat in this thing. You would have no idea jumping inside that this thing has 7,000 miles. No, that's not a ton of miles, but if you keep your car clean, your interior can look like this for years and years and lots of fun road trips to come. So even this up here looks so much better. That was filled with Walter slobber. Had to really get a little bit aggressive to get that off, but I'm thrilled that I did. Even the side of the seats here on top of the armrest. But I think it's time, viewers, to send you on your way. Hope you learned some tips and tricks, not only how to clean a Tesla Cybertruck interior, but how to actually just clean any sort of interior. Again, all the products, all the tools that I used today will be in the link in the description below. Go pick them up if something's of interest to you. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. But that's it for this one. Thanks so much for watching another out of spec detailing video with the out of spec Tesla Cybertruck. We'll see you in the next one soon for many more detailing videos. Bye-bye.